So I'll ask again, how do we start this one?
No idea.
Good.
It's been a while. It has been a very long while for one of these besides the Karate Kid one.
Okay, let me guess. Let me see. So yeah, Karate Kid was like a month ago. Ish,
probably.
Right? And then let's see. Before Karate Kid was... Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
What was before Karate Kid?
I can give you a hint.
Yeah. It was the one I picked.
It's the number 3 greatest series
of
all
it was
time.
John Cazale. That's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that was a while ago. That was in... Oh, boy. All right. So I went home for the summer. Was it after or before? I want to say it was after. It was in October.
July.
All right. So it was before.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's been a while. I remember how to...
I don't remember how to do this.
We just talk shit about movies for an hour.
So today we're talking about your choice, 4 movies in this series. It's a 4th and wrong.
Yeah. This time 4th. Rambo. First Blood. Rambo First Blood Part 2. Rambo 3, and then Rambo. Real cool titles. Really easy to figure out if you didn't see the year next to them, which one was first, second, and third.
Yeah.
God.
It would seem like Rambo, the 2008 one, could be a prequel, but except, he's super duper old.
Yeah. Also, I thought the 4th one was called John Rambo, but apparently it's just called Rambo.
I didn't know.
Those were the movies we watched. I watched First Blood a couple weeks ago. Well, couple weeks. Actually, it was almost a month ago now that I look at the date. But yeah, I watched First Blood a while ago, and then the other 3 I watched fairly recently.
I watched all of them. I watched 2 last week and 2 this week.
Yeah. The reason I watched the First Blood a while ago is because I read the book and wanted to watch it right after reading the book. So that's why. So
my experience with this movie series is I had never watched any of them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I had seen, I thought I had seen the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. But now that I have seen them, I don't know that I had ever seen the 2nd one. I think I've only seen the 1st and the 3rd.
Yeah, but of course, growing up in the U.S. in the 90s and 80s and whatever, I knew what Rambo was. There's references all over the place. So, I was experienced with the movie franchise, even if I had never watched one. So, anyway, let's get into it. First movie. Rambo, not called Rambo. It's called First Blood. It was based on a book that came out 15 years before, or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't put the
10
date.
Years before?
Yeah, at least 10. I don't know when the book was published. Yeah, I didn't know it was based on a book until fairly recently. So yeah, that's why I read it, and kind of why I picked it. I picked it, but yeah, because I didn't know it was based on a book until recently, and I had never seen the 4th one, and I'd heard a lot about it. So those were the reasons I picked this series. But yeah, I guess I'll say off the top, the book is not wildly different, but very different. Like, not the not like scene to scene, like that's pretty much the same. Just the characters, the sheriff and the rest of the police department and Rambo himself are very different in the book than the movie.
Okay, I want to ask you that after I tell you what I think about this movie, because it might be that might be a better movie because I didn't really like this movie that much. I expected from the start that there was like, okay, so he goes to visit his old buddy and his buddy's dead of cancer, right? I expected immediately that there was a cover up in the town. Like there was some sort of big bad company processing, chemicals that caused the cancer, and that's why the sheriff was going nuts trying to, get rid of Rambo.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that we find out that the sheriff was just an asshole, like was such a waste of time for me that I expected, even to the very end. Almost, I was like, there just has to be another reason for the sheriff to act this way, and it wasn't. And so his motivation for me was just like unbelievable. How aggressively he went out after Rambo just for being, a burnout. But I do know that there's an emotional scene and stuff, and I do know that when a lot of vets came back from Vietnam, they were poorly treated around and all that stuff. But like this was just so above and beyond what I would imagine was even an edge case scenario, So I just really found that to be really off-putting the whole way through this movie. And but I think the idea and the material, well, and this is the question I was going to have is, does the material treat that better? Like with more depth and more interest and more believability, or is it as over the top, unbelievable, and aggressively hostile as the movie is?
Yes and no.
All right.
So the sheriff specifically, but the entire sheriff's department in the movie seemed to just be complete assholes for no reason throughout. And in the book, it's so different.
Well, not for no reason, for no good reason.
I guess for no good reason. Yes, you're right. But they just the whole sheriff's department is just shitty from the beginning. Like it's super aggressively shitty.
Oh, exactly. The words I was just gonna say, aggressively shitty. Like so much over the top.
Like Rambo barely says anything throughout, which I guess you can say is he's not saying anything is still basically. But
and
in
then
the
has
book,
a breakdown.
In the book, so Rambo has, I think, a Medal of Honor. I think he was awarded the Medal of Honor. The sheriff, and it's in the background, but it's never really brought up. But the sheriff was awarded the Purple Heart in the Korean War. So they're both, and the colonel that shows up later in the movie knows who the sheriff is because he's known for what he did in the Korean War.
Sure.
So they're both Rambo and the sheriff are known military vets. People know who that both of them are, but they don't know who each other are, and are just super shitty to each other from the start.
Yeah.
The whole setup at the beginning where he's walking through town and the sheriff drives him out of town and says, we don't, just keep going. And then Rambo, like an asshole, is like, oh, fuck you, I'm walking right back into town. Yeah. And then the sheriff sees him and is like, I told you to get the fuck out of here. Get out. That all is the same. But the sheriff, the way he comes across in the book is not the way he's portrayed in the movie. it's not as just like it's kind of like I felt like it's more of like a father figure, like I told you what to do, get out of here type of thing in the movie than it is in the book. But yeah, like the characters, the whole book basically revolves around those two, the sheriff and Rambo, and how they basically just misunderstand each other throughout the book. Like there's multiple times, like it's not shown in the movie at all, but there's multiple times in the book where Rambo is aware that he should just stop. That he has pushed this way too far. Like he can ease things off. And same with the sheriff also is aware that like I should just back off, but neither of them will. So like yeah, like the motivations for both of them are way more interesting in the book. But the last quarter of the book, I think, is where things for me really start to fall apart. I know we're off the movie, but
oh no, that's okay. That's all part of it.
So in the book, the sheriff starts having like he's like super sleep deprived and starts having these. It's unclear if they're dreams or if he's like awake and dreaming or whatever. But
is that because he's chasing after Rambo, or is that from before then?
Yeah. So the chase between Rambo and the sheriff lasts longer in the book, and at some point, yeah, like the two of them square off against each other in the book, and the sheriff gets away, and then like refuses to like step down from his part of the search for Rambo, and he starts having these dreams where he knows where Rambo is in real life, and it sucks. Because like up to that point it seemed like these were all just real people in a real situation, and then yeah, the sheriff starts having these dreams where he knows like he's seeing the world through Rambo's perspective, and it's like real life like in the book real world Rambo running through this part of town, so the sheriff knows where he is because of this dream that he had, and that really lost me in the book. Like, oh god, no, I don't like this. But so yeah, the motivations and like all of that are quite different in the book and the movie. So yeah, I can understand if you had not read the book, like that movie is because like the beginning part with the friend and the cancer, that's not how the book starts. The book starts with him just walking through town. And the sheriff says, let me give you a ride to the other end of town. Like that's basically where it starts. It's also not set in Washington. It's set in Kentucky, I think. Doesn't really matter, but it's not.
Right, because this is not actually Washington.
No.
It was nice. It looked good, but I mean that's BC, so.
Oh, was similar. It BC? I didn't know where it was, but
yeah, as soon as they said this is I forget the name. Hope is not Hope Washington.
I think it's Hope.
Is it Hope?
I think it's Hope.
Yeah, I was like, and I started looking into it, and yeah, it was filmed in Vancouver, or not Vancouver, in BC.
I mean, it looks like Washington.
Yes, definitely.
Sure, for sure, but.
Also, so a couple of quick cameos. There was David. What's his name? The guy from CSI Miami. David.
Oh, yeah.
Something.
God, what's his name? David.
Coulthard.
No, that's not it. But it's something like that.
Cage. Whatever. Carabiner.
He's in it. He's in it. Not looks. He is super young in it.
And who was the other guy that we'd seen before?
The Twin Peaks guy.
That's what it is. Yes.
I don't know. I can't remember his name, but it's the diner owner's husband. I forget his name, but
yes.
Him.
Yep.
He's in season 1 of Twin Peaks.
Yep.
He's a sleazebag.
Yep. And so he's in this movie as one of the deputies or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, this movie, I didn't care. It's not my favorite in the series for certain.
Yeah, no, it's not mine either. It's not my.
But
not my favorite.
I do think it had a great subject that could have had a lot more done with it. Unfortunately, it just was like it was too aggressively evil in places that didn't seem like it was warranted. So, yeah, like I said, if there was like a huge cover up of some multinational corporation dumping toxins in the environment or something, and the guy was getting paid millions of dollars, or his family was being held hostage or something, then I could totally see that. But just for being a hippie walking through town, basically dirtbag walking through town, it was way too much and it put me off from the start. The action was okay. I had a big problem with the middle of the movie because it was incredibly dark.
Well, hold on. I think that bears a little more. Exactly. The action was just okay.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that it wasn't none of it stands out at all.
Yeah.
Like there's no one like, oh man, that one scene. There's not that at all.
Nope.
And it's not even like the collection of all the scenes were that great either. Like it's, yeah, like I was really surprised how little action there is by how much action there actually is in the movie.
Yep.
Like
I think it's because our image came from not that movie. Our image came probably more from the second movie.
Yes.
Or the cultural image of what Rambo is came from that second movie. I mean, the red headband and everything doesn't show up at all in the first one.
Yeah, that doesn't show up until what, third movie?
Yeah. So, I definitely think that it's totally different. The first movie and the rest of them are two different characters, basically.
Yes, yeah. Like, I was gonna say that in the second movie, I have a note of like the Rambo character from movie 1 to movie 2 is so different.
Mm-hmm.
But hold on, before we move to 2, I've got a couple more notes about.
Wait, can I say my dark thing?
Oh yeah.
So the middle of the movie was really, really super dark when he's crawling around the caves and that whole area in the woods, and it was a bad choice by me. But I watched most of that while I was in a bright room across the living room washing dishes, and so I might have missed quite a few details in that section of the movie. But
I don't think you missed much, honestly.
All right, go ahead.
I was going to say one of the last huge differences in the movie to the book is that by the time Rambo has left the sheriff's department like at the beginning, he has already killed like 3 people. In the book, he kills like 20 people, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie, I think 1 person dies, and it's debatable if Rambo is even responsible for it.
Yeah, the guy that fell out of the helicopter.
Yeah.
Well, no, doesn't the sheriff at the end die?
No. Did he? No. I mean, in the book, yes, they kill each other.
Wait. Rambo dies in the book?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, in the book, there's no possible chance for a Rambo 2, 3, or 4 because Rambo and the sheriff are dead at the end of the book.
Wow.
They kill each other at the end of the book. Yeah, they're both dead. There's no way for a continuation of this story.
I'm rewatching the very end. So,
don't they show the sheriff going into like the back of an ambulance? Like I thought he was okay.
Oh, maybe you're right. So he was on the roof. Rambo shot up through the roof, shot him in the legs or feet or whatever. He falls through a big glass window.
Yeah.
I guess he's talking to him on the floor. He doesn't pull the trigger at the end, right? That's right. Mm-hmm. So you're right. I think maybe he doesn't actually kill him.
Yeah, they both live. Like, in the book, they're both dead. They kill each other in the book. But yeah, the body count for Rambo in the book is super high. He kills so many people. It's crazy. And he, I wrote this in my notes. I was like, I'm not surprised they changed the part where he has half a haircut and leaves the sheriff's department naked on a motorcycle. Because in the book, he leaves the sheriff's department halfway through the haircut, and he's completely naked on a motorcycle cruising out of town, which kind of happens in the movie. But yeah, the last two things I say about the first movie was at some point I was like, man, there's a lot of. I don't think those guns are appropriate for a sheriff's department. So I searched First Blood sheriff guns, and one of the first links I found was I'm sure you're aware of IMDb.
Oh no! Hold on.
What?
I'll tell you in a second. Go ahead.
You know IMDb, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know IMFDB?
No.
It's the Internet movie firearms database.
Of course.
Uh-huh. So you can look up movies and see what guns are in each movie.
Wow.
Uh-huh. I didn't know that a site existed, but it does.
Wow.
Yeah. My wife has a jacket like the sheriff is wearing, that lamb skin wool looking thing that the sheriff has. She has one of those. It looks equally ridiculous.
I'll say in this movie, I forget who it is, but they have their American flag backwards on one of their jackets. I can't remember if it's Rambo or the deputies or whatever.
Well, yeah, but don't most isn't the patch on most military the flag, the stars are in the top, it's facing that way, the wrong way.
Yes.
Not the way you would expect.
Yes.
So he's got it the other way?
He's got it the way you would expect.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
And I don't know if that's something that changed at a certain time, but yeah, it's definitely the flag should look as if it's in motion, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why on a human body, on a human jacket, the stars will always be towards the front.
Yeah, exactly.
Stripes going back.
Yeah. The other thing was that speech at the end is really bad.
Really bad.
Just some real bad acting. Just bad writing, bad acting. It's just really bad. But you hit the credits and things turn way up.
Oh yeah.
Because man, the credit song is amazing.
It's so good. And it is not Frank Stallone. I just looked that up.
Oh, is it not? Oh,
no, it's
man.
somebody named Dan Hill.
That's too bad, because it should be. God, it's incredible.
I think. Oh, wait, what?
I forgot to look that up. I forgot about the Frank Stallone stuff. That is too bad. Is Frank Hill? No, well, not Frank Hill.
Dan Hill, I think.
Dan Hill.
Maybe in part 2 it might be Frankie. Oh, Frankie boy. Yeah. Peace in Our Life. If that's the final song, it is. Yeah. That's Frank Stallone there on the soundtrack for First Blood Part 2. Which is fucking terrible.
Oh, okay. So, wow. Okay, so Frank Stallone wrote the credits for the second movie.
He co-wrote them. He wrote the lyrics and he performed it. Yes.
Oh boy.
Uh-huh.
Peace in Our Time. Yeah, actually, I remember that from the song.
It's
all right,
real
let's
bad.
talk about. Well, do you have anything else about movie one?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, let me just double check if I can see the soundtrack for this. There's no soundtrack entry for this one. Okay, yeah, but I think they are different people. We both had the idea that they might be the same person because they were so like bad.
Well, in my notes, I wrote, "Is this the same song from first?" But
nope, It's a Long Road by Dan Hill on vocals.
Mm-hmm.
In the first one. All right, yeah, Rambo 2. So now we're getting into our expectation of what Rambo is. A little bit
yes,
more.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like I said, like I thought I had seen this movie before, but after watching it, I don't think I actually saw this one. Because there's so much that happens that I was like, I don't remember this. I don't remember this. Like, I was constantly in my notes like, what? What is this? So, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this one. I was wrong. But, yeah.
Yeah. What did I think? I thought that this one was the worst or second worst of the four.
I can tell you, I thought this was the worst.
Yeah. And the only reason is I don't know if I would put it worse over the first movie or not. And then I would say probably not. I think this might be the worst one. We do have the bad guy from Karate Kid.
Yeah, Cove. That's like my second note says, "Oh shit, Karate Kid is back."
Yep. My first one is, I wonder if this is where the commander will betray him, or will we save that for the next movie? Spoilers: he doesn't ever betray him.
No, he just fades into the background.
Yep. Then my next note was, oh, bad guy from Karate, cool, Hall of Fame. And then my third note is when the lady showed up, and it is yikes. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Let me take you through a history of my notes real quick. It said, I think I watched this movie as a kid. Oh shit, Karate Kid is back. This movie is wildly different from the first one.
Yep.
Next note. Did I miss something? Who the hell is this?
Uh-huh. Yep, just randomly running into a lady in the middle of the woods or whatever.
Yeah, so was she introduced in that first like briefing? Like I was watching, I thought I was paying attention, but
I don't think so. I think it was supposed to be a surprise. But maybe I might have missed it as well, but yeah. I don't remember him expecting to meet anyone. But yeah.
But she seemed to expect him.
Sure.
Like when
she was there to meet him, she was that was her point. She was hired, or she was an inside operative or whatever. I don't know if he was expecting to meet her. But actually, I think he's expected to meet someone.
Oh, I didn't even catch that he was supposed to meet someone. I thought he was.
I didn't either. From the briefing, I didn't realize that either. But I might have. I often watch these while I'm doing something else. So, but I feel like he was surprised that it was a woman when he did meet her.
Sure.
So I think I read into that I think maybe he expected to meet someone. He just didn't expect it to be a woman. My next note is when they're on the boat, and it is. So not only did Rambo survive the machine gun being shot 1,000,000 times at the boat, so did some other dude that tries to choke him.
Yeah. Well, before they even get on the boat, sorry, we got to go back a little bit. My next note after "Who the hell is this?" is she gonna keep talking like this?
Mm-hmm.
Is all I wrote, and the answer is yes. She is going to continue to talk in the worst fake broken English you've ever heard.
Yep.
It's embarrassing how bad
it's really bad. And I mean, it's 80s bad, so you let it slide a little bit, but it's still bad.
Oh God, it's really uncomfortable.
Yep. And my problem when I watch any sort of movie like this that has somebody putting on an accent, and she's not, born in America or Canada or anything like that. She was born in Singapore. I did a little research, so her dad is
I did
British, and her mom's Singaporean or something like that. So maybe she does have an accent, but it's not this. It can't be this. And oh boy, it's real bad. And my biggest problem with when this happens is that they make certain parts of their speech patterns wrong on purpose, but then they also speak perfect. Like where you would expect mistakes to be are often not the mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, and it drives me crazy. I'm like, there's no way she would have mistaken that word and then got this whole part right. And it's so the inconsistency of those bad accents is worse sometimes than the pronunciation.
Oh yeah, no, like the problem where it breaks down for me is not the like broken grammar, the broken English. Like that's whatever. It sucks, but it's where they'll drop like parts of a sentence and then use like extremely specific vocabulary.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Like, it drives
me
insane.
There's no way they would have made this mistake, but then done this. It's just
no. You drop is and was out of most sentences, but you'll fucking use other vocabulary that's extremely specific to the situation.
Yeah.
And that drives me insane.
Which, let's say, by the fourth movie, it's much better.
Oh yeah. By the fourth movie, it's fine. Like I didn't even make a comment about it in the fourth movie. But in this one, she's so bad.
Really, really, really bad.
It's consistent throughout the movie. Well, through most of the movie. But it's bad.
I didn't have too many more notes for this one. The movie's pretty bad. There's a couple things: the helicopter missile fire, then explosion during the chase, and like there's no projectile. I was like, man, I really appreciate how far CG has come.
Yeah.
Same with the biggest impact shot of the whole movie is him waking up in the chopper, firing the RPG, right? Except there's no
Yep.
I was just like, oh man, it's like fire, boom! There's no gap between the two actions, and it's like, oh man, that could have been so cool.
Yeah,
I've been spoiled by CG, I think, in some ways.
I don't have a ton else to say also about this movie. Like it's such that was a movie type of thing. But the one was the variety of weapons that are used is insane. Like I don't know. Like I've never looked. I guess I could look on IMFDB, but this movie has to be up there in like highest number of weapons used in a movie. Like there's so many different guns and just stuff used. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought the helicopter. I'd forgotten that that's a helicopter that exists, and like all my notes,
the
all
Russian
caps,
one.
Yeah, the Russian one. In all caps, all this is holy shit, that's a helicopter.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah. I knew that helicopter existed, but I had forgot. Like it had just left my mind until I saw it in this movie. I was like, holy shit, that's right. That thing is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But what I thought you were going to bring up about the helicopter is I'm pretty sure in that whole helicopter scene, there's a part where part of it falls off, and they just totally left it in.
Really? I don't know if I remember that.
Yeah, like it's going from like right to left, and like the right side of like the two like kind of wing part things, like the bombs on one side, one of them just falls off and just like takes out a tree and nothing happens. Like it doesn't explode, like nothing happens, and it's just in. Like I wrote the note. I was like, did they just leave that mistake in? And I watched, and yeah, like the bomb just like falls off, and then later it's back in the it's back on the helicopter later, and they just left it in.
Nice. I did not notice that. I don't think.
Yeah, my only other note was wow, when he hits that dude with the explosive arrow. That was very graphic.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is where we see
more than I expected for a movie of this time.
This is where we see the I think probably the Rambo top 3 icons are the shirt off, the red bandana, and the bow.
The bow, right? Yeah, yes.
I think this is where it comes from.
The next 2 movies, both of my notes have "Al, yes, Bo."
Yep. Yeah, so it is probably the worst of the 4 movies. I would say.
Yeah, I would say I think it's the worst.
We do get in this movie. We get the line. He says something about "we're expendable," which is foreshadowing to the Expendables, which I've never seen those movies. And then in the 3rd movie, are we ready?
Oh yeah. Let's move on. 3rd movie.
There is the line, "Then I'll die," which comes after, of course, Rocky IV, with the famous line, "If he dies, he dies." I thought that was cool. I don't know if it was any connection. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know how these movies line up with Rocky movies, actually. I didn't look.
It is after that movie, chronologically. I mean, not
but they do happen, like, they happen back and forth, right?
Rocky started well before Rambo.
Yeah, but Rocky, like, 3 and 4, that has to be that same era.
You mean in real time or movie timeline?
No, real time.
Yeah, Rocky IV was, I think, several years before this movie.
Oh, was it? Oh, maybe. I don't know. Didn't look.
I will check.
Yeah. The 3rd movie is, where is it set? I forget now. Afghanistan?
Yes. Oh, and so this is yes, important.
This one is Cold War movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One of my first notes is like, Jesus Christ, Stallone is ripped.
Yes.
He is fucking, yeah, he's very, very muscly in this movie. Yeah. Of all 3, like, in the first movie, he's muscly, 2nd movie, same, but this one, Jesus, he looks ridiculous.
Yep. So Rambo 3 came 3 years after Rocky 4. Rocky 4 was the same year as Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Rocky
That,
3 and First Blood were the same year as well.
oh wow, Rocky 3, huh?
Yeah. 1982, Rocky 3 and First Blood. 1985, First Blood Part 2 and Rocky 4. 88,
Yeah,
Rambo 3.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think of the four movies, this is my favorite. Um, I also... one thing I was glad to see was get it out of Southeast Asia.
Yep.
Because of, part 2 was bad. But also, when I saw this, I thought, and I knew there was another movie coming,
Hmm.
whatever it is, 20 years later. I was like, oh my God, I hope the fourth movie is set in Afghanistan because it's such a different world than when this movie took place, right? So this movie
Yeah.
was about when the USSR invaded Afghanistan and the US backed the Afghani people and gave them weapons and everything to fight
Yep.
the Russians. And, if you know the history of what happened post 9/11 and all that stuff, then in the U.S. invasion of Afghanistan following, it all stems from this era as well. Which
Hmm.
I thought, oh man, I hope the fourth movie is set there, and he goes back to Afghanistan under very different circumstances. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. And I was
See,
super.
I knew he did not. I knew the other one. I didn't know where, but I knew it was set in Asia again.
I was super bummed. But so I liked the setting. I liked the people. I liked that he had like a kid sidekick for the first time. I thought that worked.
Okay.
But I have very few notes, and this was because I was busy taking apart and putting back together a laptop a couple of times
Hmm.
for most of this movie. So, yeah, I have very few notes for this movie.
I thought this was the second worst movie. I did not like this movie.
Really?
Yeah, no. So this is one of my notes in the middle is movie Rambo is so different from book Rambo. I may have made a mistake reading the book because like pretty much everything that happens in this movie is just so not what like and basically from the after the first movie the Rambo character splits so hard.
Sure.
I mean, he dies at the end of the book, so whatever. But
can't get much bigger of a split than that.
Like it's so not where even what you know of that character where he would end up is just not where the next movies take him.
See, I
except
think
until we get to the fourth one. The fourth one is absolutely where he would be, but.
See, I think I liked this because it was the most just pure base hero action movie of the series.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I say I think this is probably the first time I've read a bunch of the books for all the movies we've watched. This is, I think, the first time where it was a mistake. Like I think I probably would have enjoyed the second and this movie more if I had not read the book and not known what the character was based on. Like I feel like that was probably a mistake.
I didn't mention it, but the reason that I didn't like the first, well, I mentioned why I didn't like the first movie a lot, and it has everything to do with the sheriff, right? And one of the reasons I didn't like the second movie was the bad accent lady, but also it was that he was fighting not only the Russian people, Russian commander or whatever that had taken over the region or whatever, but he was fighting within the people that were sending him out there. Right. I forget who it was. Brian. It wasn't Brian Dennehy. He was in the first one. Who's the guy in the second one? The commander guy.
Oh God. Yeah, anyway, I don't know.
He's famous. So I really disliked that treachery within the ranks parts of the first two, basically. Yeah. And so that's why I really disliked those two. And then so when we got to this one, and it was not that at all. Finally, we had a big bad that was just a big bad, right? And it was the most action movie of the series so far. I think that's the main reason that I really liked this one so much more than the first two. And I liked the setting itself. I thought that was pretty cool.
Me too. Yeah, I liked. Yeah, the Afghanistan. Yeah, like that. That was a cool setting for this movie for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the main reasons, and also, like I said, I was taking part computer again and again, and I think maybe I wasn't super tearing the movie apart in any way. So maybe I could just sit and enjoy it as it was.
I think that's where I fucked up, or not fucked up, but like that's where I have a problem, is that this is the furthest from the book that the series gets, and it's like I really had I had a hard time watching all of it, like just. I guess that's not true. I didn't have a hard time watching it. It was just I was kind of bored. Like I couldn't get into one of my notes is like, this has to be the longest into one of the Rambo movies where like Rambo doesn't go full Rambo. Like it's a long
Rambo gonna Rambo.
It's a long time before he does the Rambo thing, but it's actually, I don't know if it actually, I didn't look at the times, but like when he does go full Rambo, there's still like another 45 minutes of movie. Like there's a lot of Rambo just being Rambo at the end of this movie. But yeah, I wasn't into this one.
Yeah, and I think maybe I lucked out in that I was barely paying attention to this one, because I also have my one criticism of the movie was when they left, him and the colonel left or whatever, and they're driving away. Did you see how slow they were driving? It was like it had to have been like 2 miles an hour. Pulling away from these people. It's so ridiculous. But my last note is, this is probably my favorite so far, but also the one I actually watched the least of. So I think,
really? Okay,
because like I said, I was very busy the whole movie doing other stuff. So I thought, maybe if like you, I'd actually paid more closer attention, I probably would. I might have not enjoyed it as much as I did. And like enjoyed is maybe not the greatest word, because like I said, I just kind of I let it happen more in the background.
I did. There is like the last probably like half hour is, I could be wrong, but it seemed like kind of a throwback or like a nod to the first movie, because it's Rambo, running through tunnels. Like it's just him against everyone else. Like and there's a helicopter trying to chase. Like it's basically the first movie.
Yep.
Just like condensed into a half hour at the end of this movie, of him being chased through these caves and mountains and a helicopter, which I guess could be a callback to the second movie.
Lots of helicopters.
Because I guess it is the same helicopter.
Yep.
But
so now into the fourth movie, yeah.
Well, hold on. We have not addressed the very soulful closing theme of Rambo 3, which was a huge, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is this?
He's not heavy. He's my brother.
It's a very different type of song for the closing credits of this movie.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't. I think we lost something.
Oh, absolutely! It's the worst of the four, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
that was too bad.
We brought up the first two. I feel like we have to bring up that one.
Good point. So I said that I thought the third one was probably my favorite of the series, but I think the fourth one is the one and the only one that I'd probably watch again.
The fourth one is my favorite.
I figured. I think it would be my second, but yeah, I enjoyed it probably the most, but I think a lot of it has to do with it being more of a modern take, you
Yeah,
know?
I think that's part of it.
But so again, I would watch it again. I probably wouldn't watch any of the first three again. But again, also I don't know if I need to watch it again. Once was good.
No, I don't think I'd ever watch any of these again. Not because they were bad. I got it. I'm good.
Yeah. And I think part of my reason maybe that I would put this as number 2 over under Third Blood. That's not the name I know, but I referred to them in my notes as First Blood, Second Blood, Third Blood, and Fourth Blood.
Nice.
So is that we didn't go back to Afghanistan. So I spent, after finishing the third movie, I was really hoping they would go to in the fourth movie to go back to Afghanistan, because I really wanted to see what they could do with that, and we didn't. We got another Southeast Asia thing, more, you know. The one good thing was this was like actually a local bad guy group that they were fighting against.
Yeah.
Not a Russian commander or anything like that. So that was kind of cool. My first note is I'm not happy we're not going back to Afghanistan. My second note is that the chick from Dexter? And it was.
Oh yeah, that's one of my notes too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that blonde lady looks really familiar. Is she from Dexter? And then my notes later say, "Yep."
Yeah, yes, it is. Yep. So.
All right. So before we get too into this, you watched the extended cut. I watched the theatrical version. I don't know. I didn't watch the extended cut. So
shortcut.
It's what was it? 10 minutes shorter? 9 minutes shorter?
9 minutes.
9 minutes. Yeah. So there's at some point we'll get to it. There's a part where I think most of the 9 minutes was cut. I feel like. So, but also I want to ask, just because of what your comments were when I started, what was the opening scene for your movie?
The opening scene is he's. I'm not sure. The whole opening scene is he is getting snakes.
I guess, yeah. How does the movie start for you?
I think it is he's on a boat. He's out.
Yeah,
hunting
no, that's
for
not
snakes.
how my movie started.
I might be wrong. But there's a. Hold on. Oh no, it's a newsreel.
Okay, yeah. So it's a super violent newsreel.
The whole movie is super violent.
Yes, yeah. I guess, yeah. Let's get that off now. This entire movie is extremely violent.
Extremely, and then so the next part is he's hunting snakes, and then he's on a boat, and he brings them to the
wait. So did they not show, like, in my version they had we don't have to do this the entire time. I just want to know, just because of what you had said at the beginning when I started watching. The movie starts with the, like, newsreel thing, and then it cuts to them tossing the mines into the rice field, and then forcing them to run across, like a foreshadow, like, because they do it later in the movie too. That's how the movie started for me. Was newsreel, and then they throw all of these mines into this rice field and force these guys to run across the field, and one of them hits a mine and blows up, and it's super violent.
I don't remember. I remember that happening later in the movie.
It happens like two or three more times in the movie.
What? I remember that happening once in the movie.
Oh no, it happens a couple times at least. For me, it happened at the beginning, and then it happens later when the missionary people get to that one thing, and then they come back to it, and they toss mines into the field again, and the mercenaries are at the top of in the town. Like, it happens multiple times where they're forcing people to run across these fields where mines are laid. Well,
Yeah,
whatever.
no, that did not happen in my movie. So my movie, like I said, it starts with a newsreel, and then it starts, and the first thing you see after the opening credits, which is against a black backdrop, and I was just looking at it right here, is Sylvester Stallone hunting for a snake.
Snakes. Yeah. The snakes.
But there's no part where they're tossing the mines in the field. The first time I saw it is after, and I only
That was
remember it
like
once.
at the end of the newsreel thing was this part where they're running across the field.
But it's not part of the newsreel. It's actually from the movie.
Well, so it's cut where it could be part of the newsreel, but it's so graphic that there's no way it was part of the newsreel. But like, yeah, it's cut between like it's newsreel, showing like violent stuff, and then it kind of cuts to this truck stopping at the side of a rice paddy, and then these two dudes walking along the edge, tossing out mines into the field, and then lining up these guys to run across.
Yeah, no, that's not in this one. So, like I said, it's that newsreel, then it cuts credits, and then Sylvester Stallone gets the snake, gets on a boat, heads back to the snake fighting place or snake charming place. And so,
yeah.
The first time you see it is when the missionaries, after the missionaries have been captured and after the town had been killed.
Yeah, the mercenaries are up on the hill, like looking down.
Yes, okay. Sorry, mercenaries was confusing to me also. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so the bad guys come up in a truck and then they do the landmine thing.
Yeah, in my movie, that was the second time, and I feel like it happens another time after that.
Huh. Yeah, that's the only one I remember. But again, like I said, I watched these while doing something else, so I may have missed the third one, but there was definitely not a first one.
Okay.
So, weird.
But yeah, we don't need to get into all the differences. I'm sure there's tons. But, well, we'll get into one other later. Well, one. There's a section where I'm pretty sure most of that 9 minutes came out of.
Okay.
But, in my notes, I said, I predict 0 of these missionaries are going to make it to the end of the movie. I was wrong.
Yeah, you were.
I felt pretty confident that none of them were going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dexter Lady was in my notes.
So
also,
the moment I don't remember if I said something else to you about this movie because I'd watched it before you, but the thing I remember saying to you is I had the same feeling at one moment in this movie as I did when the Eagles went for it on 4th and 6 or 4th and goal from the 6-yard line or whatever. Like that instant, like, oh, wow, like that moment of instant amazement and so cool. But it had nothing to do with the beginning of this movie. It was at the end, near the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought that was near the end to me. Just because of, like, I had talked to you before you, or around the time you started watching it, and it seemed like, I wasn't sure, I didn't check, but it seemed like that was near the end of the movie to me. But,
yeah, so anyway, other notes, the boat conversation was really awkward, really weird, uncomfortable. But
there's a lot of bad writing, like bad, like back and forth in this movie. But I don't know. I can overlook that, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't come to this movie for the writing, I guess.
Nope. Yeah, and then there was some bad CG on a bomb. I don't remember specifically what that was.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, it says the CG has not aged well. Like, just a lot of, like, it's a lot of, like, Sci-Fi Channel, like, what I think of, like, Sci-Fi Channel, like, very clearly CG stuff. Like, it doesn't even attempt to blend into the film that was shot. Like, there's a lot of that. It's not horrible, but it's very noticeable throughout the movie.
And then, so my next note is, oh my god, that might be the coolest moment in cinematic history.
Okay.
Can you guess what it is?
Hold on. I need to go back to the beginning part of the movie because I don't know. Well, I can guess, I think, but I have to go back to the beginning-ish of the movie.
Cool, no problem.
Just after he meets the missionaries and realizes that they all got captured or whatever. One of my notes says, I just swallowed one of my beard hairs. Yuck.
Yes.
It says, Jesus Christ, I got it. Chekhov's light machine gun. It's coming back. I got it. Like it's in my notes. Like, okay, I got it. Because they keep, like, after he kills those pirates from, like, when they stop the missionaries, they keep cutting back to. Boom. Yes, that's awesome. That was such a badass moment. But they keep cutting back to that machine gun on the front of the boat. Just back and back to it. I was like, okay, got it. Machine guns coming up later. Got it. Cool. Like, you have definitely foreshadowed. Got it. Like, and one of my other notes is it says, "Oh, please be making a fucking knife." when he's like, yes, he is.
Yes, he was. It was good. They did not
because, like,
at least in my version.
But one of, like, I would say, red headband.
Yeah, you're right.
Tank top.
Military knife.
Serrated military knife is the other Rambo.
Yeah, you're totally right. Which I thought it was weird that they didn't do enough with the knife after that. Like,
no, like,
there's been a couple minutes showing him make it, and like, oh, he's coming back to kick ass. But then, like it only shows up like once.
Yeah, like how closely my mind is connected to Rambo and, like, that serrated knife. Like, it barely shows up in the movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't show up in this one because he makes his own knife.
Yep.
Well,
it does show up. It does show up because he. Yeah, he leaves it on the boat.
It does. That's right. So yeah. Yeah. Oh man, hold on. This gets a little weird because I had to highlight a bunch of my notes because it's where it got very confusing for me. So I think this all, yeah, okay. It says it all it happens around 50 minutes into the movie. Is where I think a bunch of cuts happened.
Oh, okay.
So, so Rambo just killed a bunch of the guys in the village. When he just first shows up with the bow. When they drove up and forced them across, like that part. So he shows up, kills a bunch of them with the bow, and there's a short conversation, and then it switches to nighttime. And there's, like, strippers on a stage, maybe. I don't know if there's strippers. Yeah. So there's strippers or something happening on a stage, and everyone, like, and then it cuts back to all of them in the back of a truck at night, synchronizing their watches. And also Rambo has had an extremely antagonistic relationship with the leader of the mercenaries. I forget that has been happening.
Yeah.
And then they're syncing up their watches, and then somehow Rambo and that British dude are totally cool with each other. And, like, it makes no sense. Like, there's no explanation for any of it. So, like, yeah, it cuts from that village in the daytime to nighttime they're like assaulting the headquarters, the camp of that group of people. I forget their name. But yeah, so like it felt like there were so many cuts because like yeah, like the like minutes ago, Rambo and that British mercenary leader guy were like butting heads constantly, and now they're like syncing up their watches, like buddy, buddy, like oh yeah, I'll meet you here, let's go here. Like it was super weird.
Huh. So okay, I think maybe some of those scenes are slightly out of order, but I don't think you missed anything necessarily. Because just going through it real quick here, yeah. So they're at the village, and then
Mm-hmm.
Rambo points the fucking arrow at his face, right?
Yeah. That happens.
And then and he's like, "Fuck you," blah blah blah. And then they just cut to the next scene, which is, in this case, it's not it's the village at night in the rain, yeah. But immediately they're not syncing up their watches. They're in the back of the truck, sure, but so the scenes might be slightly out of order from yours, but yeah, so they're just doing that. I think that the British dude kind of just learned his lesson.
I don't know. Yeah, like that whole section just didn't make sense to me. Even though
I mean, it probably wasn't very well fleshed out, but yeah, I don't think you missed anything.
Yeah, specifically their relationship, because like they kept butting, like they made a big point about those two butting heads, and like Rambo, like being Rambo, like wouldn't respond, was just like whatever. Mm-hmm. And the military guy, like kind of like trying to egg him into a fight, like antagonizing him, and then to go from that to point an arrow at your face, and now you're totally fine with me. Like it just seemed weird.
Yeah, but I mean, like, so I think that the British guy didn't like Rambo because the British guy just didn't seem to like anybody. And then Rambo, and he thought Rambo was just some worthless dude anyway. But then Rambo does some badass stuff with the arrows. And
yeah,
he's still pissed off about him.
Guy.
He's still pissed off, but he's just like, he just gets mad and he points the arrow at his eye, and they're just like, no, fuck you, listen to me, and then just Rambo takes over basically.
Yeah, I guess I didn't buy the mercenary guy just like, okay, he's the leader now, after being such an asshole the entire other time. It seemed weird to me.
Yeah, character motivations, hallmark of this series.
So I assumed that maybe that was where some explanation for that change in dynamic between those two. I figured that might have been the missing 9 minutes, but I guess not.
Nope. No, he's just like, okay, I learned my lesson. That was basically it, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah, don't worry, you didn't miss anything.
My next note is quite a bit further, I think, into the movie. But it says, oh shit, I see what you were planning and I'm already turning down the volume. When he goes and takes, is it the C4 and plants it next to that bomb that... Yep. I was like, oh shit, this is going to get loud. Because I was watching this movie. It was late. I was on a time deadline. I knew I wouldn't have time, so it was probably like 1 a.m. when that happened, and my family was sleeping right over there. Like, oh shit, I gotta turn this down.
Yeah.
This is for sure going to get loud. But so my next note is I think maybe one of the more telling things about this entire series is that to this point, this is what I thought Rambo movies were. Like in my mind, like this is what I remember Rambo movies being.
Yeah.
Like super violent, super crazy, just over the top action all the time. But so watching them like not be that and then become that was super weird. Because like I thought what this movie was what I expected 2 and 3. I knew 1 was not that way, but I expected 2 and 3 to be like this one. And how they weren't really like this was surprising.
Yeah, I think it's the time period. I think that if you look at Saving Private Ryan and post Saving Private Ryan, it's like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. What you think a shooter is now, if you go back and try and play a shooter pre Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 4,
it's horrible. Yeah, it's awful.
It's like, wait, which button shoots? Which button? How do I look down sights? Because it's so non-standardized and like So I think when you look back on those violent '80s movies like that, I think that they're a lot less graphic, and a lot of it has to do with the CG. In this movie, the most violent shit is not only what they do, like making the dudes run through the minefield, but like you see bullets tear through people, all over the place.
Yes. I mean, we're about to get to one of my notes that I guess we could get to it now. All it says is, Chekhov has arrived. Holy shit. Because, wow, when he gets behind that fucking light machine gun, holy shit.
That is what I said. Oh my god, that might be the coolest moment in cinematic history.
Yeah, I assume that's what you're talking about.
On the back, just blows the dude away. There's a dude in the front seat of that Jeep, and he just shoots, just explodes through him out the front window of the Jeep, and I was like, oh my god, that is amazing.
Well, did you catch the other parts where you hear the bullets bounce off the shield?
Yeah.
Because he almost got killed in that part.
Yep.
But you hear like the ka-tink as. Yeah. Oh my god! Yeah, I figured that's what you were talking about. Yeah. From when he gets on that gun to the end is fucking insane.
Yeah. So, but even before that, when he gets onto the thing, my next note is he chops the dude's head off, and then with a mounted machine gun just annihilates the driver. Chops his head off, and then jumps in and just disintegrates the driver. It's amazing.
Yeah. But when he rises up, blurry in the background, and then it zooms.
Yep.
I mean, he did. I guess we didn't say that. Stallone directed this movie.
Yes, he did.
He didn't direct any of the others. He directed this one.
Yep.
And
pretty amazing.
He directed it, and Stallone is very clearly the star. He's in almost every scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only ones really are the only ones that he's not really the main focus of are when he pops up, right?
Yeah.
So there's two times. There's the times with the lady, Dexter's lady, where she's in captivity, or when she's waiting or whatever. And then there's the time with the mercenaries when Stallone is missing, but that's for the point of him surprising everybody.
Yeah. Those are actually is it the fourth one where he's covered in mud? And like he opens his eyes in the background? Or is that the third one?
Oh no, that is that Oh shit.
Because that is straight out of the book. Like that's part of the book he does that in the book. Like he covers himself like in like Predator, like covers himself in mud and hides as like the hunting crew goes past him and then pops up. Is that in the third? It's
I don't
second
think
or
it's.
third one.
I don't think it's in this one. I think it's second one is my guess.
But yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot.
I think it's the second one. I could be wrong, but I think that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. My only, I think two other notes. Second to last note is I like that in this movie they used a lot of the musical cues from the first or second, third movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was, I didn't expect that. I didn't think they would use like exactly the same sort of like, because they're almost out of place, but somehow they fit in this movie. But yeah, I like the musical cues.
A little fan
like
service.
Yeah. Because like they almost seem like they were just like ripped from other movies. Like the audio quality doesn't fit the rest of the movie. Like it sounds weird, but
and you were watching Netflix one, right? It's not like you got some dodgy version.
Yeah, no. I was watching on Netflix, the Netflix one.
Yeah,
and yeah, like the audio of like those, like it's like a weird like trumpet, like it's just a couple notes, but like it's from the first movie, and I think they used it throughout. But like in the other movies, I feel like they put it in better, and this one is just like really like it's not blaring, but like it's a little jarring because it doesn't fit the rest of the sound of the movie. But so I tried to keep a body count of.
I've seen that on sites before.
Yeah, so I was gonna. I was like, I know this is a thing, but I'm gonna try and do it. So First Blood 1, I had 1.
Hold on. Let me back you up with factual evidence here. Okay, got it.
I said 1, but with a question, because I don't know that Rambo was responsible. Not that he has to be responsible, but I was saying, oh, okay, at least one person died in this movie. So I put 1.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Rambo 2, or Rambo, First Blood Part 2.
Right.
I had 53, but that's for sure low. Yeah, so I said 53.
All right, this says 75.
70. Wow, okay, sure. Rambo 3, I said I've fully lost count. I have no idea. I gave up. And then Rambo 4, instead of body count, I counted times I said shit or some other variation out loud.
Oh, can I stop you real quick? So 54 individual kills, it looks like, and then there were two separate. Multiple. There's 12 Spitznut. Is that how you say it? Spitznut soldiers killed in a helicopter explosion, and then 7 more killed in another explosion.
So I was trying to count just Rambo kills.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's responsible for those kills.
Yeah.
He blew up the helicopter. Inside were 12 soldiers or whatever, right?
Yeah, that counts. But yeah, Rambo 3 I gave up, and then Rambo 4 or Rambo. I counted the times I said "oh shit" or some other sort of exclamation out of my mouth was 4 times.
What? That's it?
Yeah. Let me see. The 4 times were when he comes up from the background, for sure. When he gets on the machine gun at the end. The first time the dude blows up from the mine, and it's just like parts everywhere. It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the 4th one was, but yeah, for sure. Those 3 or 3 of the 4 times that as I would watch, I was like, oh shit, or some other sort of oh fuck, oh Beelzebub, oh dang.
So let me run this down for you. First Blood 1, First Blood Part 2, 75, Rambo 3, 115, Rambo 4, 254.
Yeah. Like immediately, I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna know how many. How many? 200 and what?
54.
Jesus.
And then, additionally, he has 59 Vietnam War confirmed kills.
Yes, that comes up. He was a POW for a while and escapes in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about him killing a bunch of people as he ran to safety.
Wow. So, I'm going to read off my last 2 notes here. Mm-hmm. At this point, I was a little tipsy when I wrote these 2, but I thought they were funny at the time. They're not now, but I'll read them anyway. It says, well, the Christian doctor just bashed a dude's head in with a rock. Let the one without sin cast the first stone. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. No. We could bring up some of the symbolism. Yeah, like, I thought that was really... Like, he's so outraged when Rambo kills all the people on the boat. And then, later in the movie, he fucking kills a guy with a rock. I was like, okay.
Yeah, brutally.
Yeah.
And then my next one was, wearing white was a real bad idea. Am I right? I don't know why. I thought that was funny.
I don't know what that means. Who was wearing...
I can't remember. I think the lady was wearing white, and maybe the Christian leader guy was also wearing white. And they're just covered in mud after the last battle.
Everyone is a mess at the end of this movie.
But Rambo's wearing a black shirt and black pants. I mean, he looks a little dirty and sweaty, but they're just fucking filthy. I mean, it's
I guess
very purely symbolic, right? It's purity, but then dirty, whatever.
Yeah. So. He also, he never gets dirty, and he never, like, he always has, like, that black t-shirt and pants. Like, he never goes, like, tank top or shirt off, like, in the other movies. I know I don't know how old he was in these
85.
movies. Yeah, like the entire, like, it's noticeable the entire time he wears like a shirt with sleeves and pants the entire time. But he does have horrible hair throughout the movies.
Yeah, one of my notes from this movie is, where is it? Oh, his hair has really lost some volume.
Yeah, it has. It's still terrible, though.
I mean, it's 20 years later, so what are you going to do? But, so in my last thing was, I liked the idea the best of number 1. I thought overall the third movie was my favorite because, like I said, maybe if I'd paid closer attention it wouldn't be, but I liked the characters. I liked the Afghanistan guy that helped him. I liked the kid helping him. And I liked, the setting was probably my favorite of the 4.
Yeah.
And I liked that there was no treachery on his side. The bad guy was just a bad guy. For me, what you said about watching these movies evolve into what you expected Rambo to be from the start, I watched them the exact same order, but not coming from the book. And so for the first two movies, that wasn't what I expected it to be. And then the third movie is finally, that's what I expected. And the fourth movie as well, but I also felt like he's kind of old and it's a little too brutal at times. But, so I thought the third one was the best across the board for me, maybe. And then the fourth movie is the only one I'd watch again.
Yeah. I mean, I have a totally different order, but
Sure.
yeah, the fourth one I think is the only one I would watch again. Maybe the first one, but I've seen it a few times now, and it's different enough from the book now that I've read the book. Which, like I said, I don't think I've ever felt this way, but I feel like reading the book was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the character of Rambo is maybe not more interesting. I think he's an interesting character in the book, but the movie character is so different from the book character that it's really hard to like square those two together.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, like I guess, yeah, it's yeah.
That's why I think that the first one has the best ideas behind it, because the character is potentially really interesting, the story, the setting is potentially very interesting. The ideas behind it were very good.
It is, yeah. Like the
but
book
really the execution of all of it is bad.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's where I run into problems, and it makes it harder for the second and third movie because they're so different from the book. Yeah, so I've got a different. I've got 4, 1, 3, 2. Like the second one to me is the worst. It's so bad.
Yeah, the second one is the worst.
Easily the worst. But yeah, so yeah, my order's a little bit different, but yeah. I'd go 4, 1, 3, 2.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah. Let's get to where it rates on the full list.
All right. So the current greatest trilogies or movie series of all time is number 1, The Dollars trilogy. Number 2, Mad Max. Number 3, John Cazale was also in 3 other movies.
Yep.
I'm going to say, hey, Rambo, you didn't make the top 3.
Nope. No, you didn't. You're close, but you didn't make it.
No. Yeah, sure, close is fine.
I mean, yeah, like I would watch Rambo over quite a few of these other movies that we've got over here. But yeah, it's not gonna make it over these 3.
No. All right. So now it's time to pick our next one. Let's switch. Oh, what happened? Why is the wheel off-centered here? I didn't move it. Oh, this is weird. When I was setting this up, there was some weirdness with this, and it seems to have... I don't know what happened. Like, it looked fine, and then it wasn't fine, and I tried to fix it, and apparently now the fix has been applied to how it was before. This is real weird. Inside baseball, but whatever. This should fix it. Okay, that should be fine now. And let me make it a little bit smaller.
I can't see it, so
I know you can't.
Let me know.
All right, so you can watch the live stream, but it's going to be delayed, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to spin it. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm not going to watch the live stream.
Movie series factor. What will decide our next movie? Google search results. This is a new one.
Google.
All right, so
what does that mean?
Put in how you would describe the series. Like, for example, if it's Rambo, there's 4 different names to the movie series. But if you type in Rambo movie series, how many? What's the number of search results returned?
Okay. So, blank movie series or whatever.
It's probably the best way to go. In the case of Rambo, like something like that is probably Rambo movie series is better.
Yeah. So okay. So do you want me to put movie series at the end?
Yeah, let's stick with movie series.
Okay.
And where do we get that number? I swear that was a number listed somewhere.
Yeah, where? There's no number. There's just movie posters listed up here.
What? Didn't they used to say result numbers?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, it didn't show up for me on my first page, but when I hit next, it showed up page 2 of about results. So hit next page.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Yeah. Okay. Page 2 of about blank results. Yep. Sure. I got it.
All right. So I'll say mine first. Ready? Page 2 of about 17,200,000 results in 0.99 seconds.
I got page 2 of about 377,000 results in 0.5 seconds.
Wow, much fewer.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Next.
Way fewer.
Modifier. So I am most, you are least. Ready?
Yep. I can't see this one, so let me know.
Oh, son of a bitch. It's least. To you again. I'm really curious because my series, I'm surprised it has so many more than whatever you picked. Because mine's like, it's a popular series, but it's not like The Lord of the Rings or something, you know?
I'm going to pick mine only because, like I said, I want to get to my 6th. This might be one of the only chances to get to 6.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I would do the same thing at this point. I wouldn't.
But like I said, I don't feel super strong about this, but this is the one. So we are going to be watching the Tremors.
Yes.
I think Tremors 6 is about to come out this year. So it would be pushed to a 6 Ilogy or whatever it would be called.
That's the correct term. You're right.
But currently there are only 5 Tremors movies.
So we'll get ready and then we'll do a 5-bagger for the 6th one. Well, we shouldn't do a 5-bagger. What we should do is make a new series where we watch when a franchise we've watched has been updated.
Sure. Yeah, we should actually. Yes, we should. But yeah, I don't know that any of the following movies made it to the theaters. I think it's just Tremors that made it to the theaters. Have you seen Tremors?
Yeah. Can I say I hated Tremors? Absolutely hated that movie. But Tremors is on my list. It's on my list. It is on my list for quintilogies.
Yep.
I put it on there. It is not the one that I was going to pick next, but because I want to go back to the one that I was originally going to pick when I skipped my turn. Still. But it was definitely on there. And
is this the first one that's been on both our lists?
Unless
nothing you have picked has been on my list yet.
Well, Karate Kid.
No, Karate Kid was not on my list.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, Rambo was on my list.
Oh yeah, so Tremors. What are they? Tremors 2 Aftershocks, Tremors 3 Back to Perfection, Tremors 4 The Legend Begins, Tremors 5 Bloodlines. I have only seen Tremors Tremors 2 Aftershocks. I think that's it. I don't think I've seen any of the other movies.
I'm excited for this, but also like I said, I hated this movie.
That's unfortunate because I think after the first one, they get way worse. I remember Tremors 2 being very bad.
Good.
And I liked Tremors 1, so good luck.
The film will be released on DVD and Blu-ray in May 2018.
Yeah, right? So yeah, there's going to be another Tremors this yeah.
Oh man. But here's the thing. One of the reasons I think I hated this movie so much is because I really dislike Kevin Bacon for some reason.
Oh, I like Kevin.
I don't like Kevin Bacon, and I don't like. And I might have said bacon. I often say bacon instead of bacon. I don't know why.
You don't like that other lady that's in the movie?
I was a little kid. I don't know who's else in the movie. I don't like Kevin Bacon, and I don't like what's the guy on 24? Kiefer Sutherland. I always hated those two guys.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, I can understand disliking both of them for sure.
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't think there's any Kevin Bacon movie that I really liked because of him in it. I liked movies that he was in, though. A Few Good Men, Apollo 13.
The movie that came out at the same time as The Sixth Sense, the one that he was in, was pretty good. I can't remember the name of it.
Invisible Man.
No, that one's not good.
That movie is awful.
But Kevin Bacon, it's a very similar movie to The Sixth Sense, but Kevin Bacon is in this other movie that came out around the same time, and he's pretty good at it. Can't remember the name of it.
When did the Sixth Sense come out?
I have no idea. I just remember.
Was it My Dog Skip?
What?
My Dog Skip.
No, they're very similar. They may not have actually come out around the same time. I thought they did, but they're very similar ideas. Let's say. I don't know what the movie's called.
I don't know either.
But
Mystic River.
Maybe? I don't know.
The Woodsman.
Probably not.
Digging to China.
No.
Sleepers.
Oh, it might have been Sleep. Well,
that came out way before. What's it called?
Not Sleepers. That doesn't sound
right. Stir of Echoes.
Oh, that might be it.
Hollow Man. That's the movie I was thinking of, not The Invisible Man. That movie's terrible.
It is The Invisible Man. It's just has different names. Stir of Echoes might be the movie I was thinking of.
Well, it might take a little work to try and find those 5 fucking Tremors movies.
Yeah, I didn't look at the availability of those movies at all before I picked them. So
that's tentative for right now.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Well, there's going to be another 5-bagger in March, right?
Yep.
And then this might come back, hopefully. We'll see.
Yeah. Just in time to get us ready for the 6th movie.
Yes. I hope I get the 6th movie. I really want to watch my 6th movie.
No. I mean, 6th movie is in Tremors 6.
I don't know. My 6th movie. I want to watch that one. I don't want to watch that 6th Tremors movie.
I want to watch my 3 movies so I can watch my 4 and then get to my 5th. Okay, that's the end of Rambo.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.